This is what I personally like to look for when I'm looking at stocks that I want to short, and I'm looking for stocks that have been on an incredible tear for an incredibly long period of time. Case in point is PayPal. PayPal is something that I've been talking about to my team and my community for months now, and the one thing that I've been pointing out is the fact that we've been through this area of weakness right through here. I say weakness because it's trying to put in these highs and it's failing to go higher. This is one of the things that I'm constantly looking for in short trades. Is I'm looking for things that have been moving up that are maybe considered overextended. I'm not looking at anything fundamental. I'm just looking at the technicals here. And then what I'm looking at is I'm looking for key levels to break down. When I'm looking at key levels and talking about key levels, I'm looking at areas of structure like right through here. You can see that we've got some support a couple times that breaks down, and then there's a retest. It's in this little area where I actually start to get very, very bearish on stocks, and this is where I started to talk to my community about PayPal as a potential short. That was back at 269.55. Today closed down at $124, call it 125, down 54%. So the thing about shorting is when these key technical levels are starting to break down, you also want to look for high probability patterns like this head and shoulders pattern that breaks down and retest. As soon as I see a retest, I start to look at the previous pivot lows like this, and then I'm looking for a continuation. And as soon as those levels snap, I start to get to lower time frames, and I start looking at viable day trades. Now you can see here on PayPal, it puts in this pivot low, rallies, cracks, okay? We put in this support level, we consolidate again, right? And consolidation is not a bad thing. It's telling you one of two things. It's taking a break and it's going to reverse, or it's taking a break and it wants to get short. In the case of PayPal, it gets short here, it retests here, and then what I'm looking at is that swing low to get short again. You can see that this thing dropped. And if we actually fast forward into yesterday, there were a lot of nice day trades that we put on PayPal, and this thing was just dumping. And then today, that short biasness continued to dump to the downside. So these are the things that I look for when shorting. This is exactly what I looked at CGC a number of years ago when it was trading up in the high 40s. I shorted it down to 9, in and out, in and out, in and out. Turned around at 9, communicated to the team that this thing could go back up into the 40s, which it did. Same thing when I was looking at cryptos when there were two big dumps over the last 6 years. And this is how I personally short stocks. And so when those key levels on the daily start to break down, I then start to zoom in to shorter time frames. And I like to look at viable day trades that I can get in and out of before the session's over. I don't like overnight risk. And that's how I personally short stocks.